Hey, what is up, Internet? Kyle here, Slapshot Toys. It is Thursday evening, 10:45 p.m., a little bit past my bedtime. I usually be in the office at 8, so I'm usually in bed by now. But I'm actually off tomorrow because it is the start of the Cincinnati Comic Expo. And I'm actually up this late. I know it's probably not late to any of you guys. You guys are probably like, wait, you're an old man, which I am. But I'm actually getting ready, or getting a bunch of comics ready that I'm going to take to hopefully get signed at the expo. Like I said, that starts tomorrow afternoon. I think the doors open at 1, and then the actual convention opens up at 2:30 for VIPs, and that's actually the ticket package my wife and I have. So yeah, we're gonna head down there tomorrow afternoon, and then we actually we're gonna make a little weekend of it. So we got a hotel downtown, even though we only live 30 minutes outside the city. We thought it'd be kind of fun to go down some restaurants and some of the stuff downtown that we normally don't go to, and check out the expo all weekend. So it should be a fantastic time. But yeah, there's a couple artists and creators there that I really like. Two of them are actually two of my all-time favorite creators, one of which is the single reason I'm into comics and honestly action figures when I really think about it. So I'm getting some books ready for them. And yeah, that's just gonna be a fantastic time. Hope to see some awesome cosplay. Walk around the booths. The guest list, in all honesty, really isn't that great this year, in my opinion. The two headliners for the comic side, I'm not really one who gets really amped up about actors and those type of things. I don't know why. It just doesn't do anything for me. Like, don't get me wrong, I love the movies, I love the actors. I just don't care about like meeting them or getting their autograph on something. I'd much rather meet actual comic creators, artists, those type of people. And the guest list this year, there are some people that I absolutely love, but I can see them at any con around here because they're local guys, much like Gavin Smith, Daryl Banks, Sean Fournier, a bunch of guys I've already gotten sketches from. So the list was a little bit lacking other than the two headliners, which were Scott Snyder and Greg Capullo. And like I said, those are two of my heroes, so I'm super excited to meet them. And actually my wife was awesome enough. They were doing like a Scott Snyder and Greg Capullo experience, which if you don't know, those two actually worked on the New 52 Batman run together, and it was phenomenal. So they did like a little experience package that you could buy. I think it was like $75. You get to go to a private Q&A and have 5 books signed by each of them. So you could have 5 books total if you get both of them signed by them, or 5 each. I'm doing a mixture of both, and I'll show you what books I'm pulling here in a second. And you also get a bunch of stuff like an exclusive print, special badge. I think that has some Capullo. Man, I can't talk tonight. It's late. I'm tired. I need a pop. Capullo artwork on it, which should be really cool. And I'm just really excited to get to meet them, take a photo with them, those type of things. Yeah, so we're actually right now, what I am doing, let's see if I can flip this. So this is actually what I'm working on right now, just getting the books all sorted out of what I want signed and by who and those type of things. Like I said, they're two of my all-time heroes. Scott Snyder is actually in my probably top 3 all-time writers. Especially current ones right now. That would have to be Rick Remender, Scott Snyder, and Jeff Lemire. And yeah, so actually what I'm going to have, hopefully, Scott Snyder sign is my copy of Wytches, my hardcover of American Vampire Volume 1. This is both of these are just phenomenal books. Especially if you're into horror comics, they're fantastic. My hardcover of After Death, and then, so that's 3, and I get 5 from them. And then my issue of number 2 of the New 52 Batman, which I already had Jonathan Galapion sign. And then number 40 from the same Batman run. And this is actually, spoiler alert, the issue where they kill off Bruce Wayne and the Joker. And I just thought that was such a ballsy, awesome issue. And there's so much crap that just happens. It's phenomenal. So actually, these 2 books, I'm going to have both Capullo and Snyder sign. And then, like I said, I'm going to have these 3 trades, have Scott signed by himself. And then as far as Greg, I'm going to have him sign my hardcover issue of Volume 3 of Spawn, my hardcover of Reborn. This is one of my all-time favorite Batman covers. Let's see if I can get it out of the light here. Joker just kind of on a throne of dead bodies. I don't know why. I've always thought that image was just absolutely haunting, and I want to have him sign that. And then I'm going to have him sign those 2. And I believe that's 5 for him as well. And then, yeah, as you can kind of see, it's a mess, but I'm kind of going through all my old Spawn covers, seeing which ones he did. And then also I'm looking at getting possibly these 3 signed as well. If I try to get back, if their line's not too busy on Sunday, I think I'm going to try to get in line and get a couple more things signed. And these are kind of the reserve piles. Same with these 2 Spawn covers as far as Greg Capullo. So that's all kind of backup stuff. If I feel like their line isn't too long and I want to get something else signed. This one, the All-Star Batman, I really, because I love that run, and I already have that signed by Deacon Shavley and Jordi Belair. So it'd be cool to get Scott Snyder's autograph on that as well. But yeah, so yeah, I'm really excited to meet those. Like I said, Greg Capullo is pretty much the reason I'm into comics and action figures. As a kid, I can remember going to a local department store, I think it's called Elder Bierman, and my parents would go and shop for whatever they needed to, and I'd go over to the toy section, and this was in the early 90s, and this was right when Spawn was hitting big. And so I walk over to the toy section, I just see these sinister, evil-looking action figures, and I was like, man, those things are awesome. And just getting into those action figures and then seeing all the art that Greg Capullo did with Todd McFarlane on Spawn just absolutely fueled my love for comics. And then from there, I got into everything from X-Men to Spider-Man to Batman. And then when I kind of got out of comics a little bit, probably about 4 years ago now, with the New 52 run with Snyder and Capullo, reading that is what got me back into comics and back really heavily into comic collecting. And so, yeah, so I mean, in a way, like looking at those figures as a kid, that also got me into figure collecting as a kid. One of the biggest things, I mean, pretty much other than hockey, that's really my only hobby. So yeah, so like a huge day I get to meet Greg Capullo, so I am super excited. They're only going to be there Saturday and Sunday, so I gotta wait until Saturday, but tomorrow should be fun to look around some of the vendors and things like that. As far as toys, I'm not really looking for a whole lot. Really, I'm kind of looking to beef up my Daredevil collection just a little bit. The biggest thing that I will probably buy, as long as it's somewhat close to retail, will be the Mezco Daredevil. I kind of want the red one. I mean, if I find the Shadowland, that'd be phenomenal. I like the black suit, but I'm going into the convention looking for the red suit, but it's going to have to be like $100 or less. I don't want to pay more than $20 retail, even though it is sold out on Mezco's website. So maybe we'll find something there. Hot toys, unfortunately, we had to take one of our dogs, and she had to have surgery today. Everything went well. She's fine. Just cost the wife and I a lot of money that we really weren't planning on spending as much right before this convention. And I have 2 hot toys and the Mezco blue and yellow suit Wolverine all coming sometime in October. The blue and yellow suit Wolverine maybe a little bit later, but I know the Daredevil's hot toy and the Punisher hot toy are both coming out in October. I already got my emails from Sideshow saying that they're both coming out then. So that's going to kind of suck a little bit. So that's a lot of money going towards that. So I don't think I'm going to get a whole lot at the convention. The other thing I will probably get if I find is the 12-inch Legends Daredevil. I think that thing's awesome. If I can find that around the $60 mark, I'll probably pick that up as well. Normally, I'm all about sketches and original artwork at these conventions, but just with money being a little bit tight, I don't think I'm going to get a whole lot. There's a couple guys there that I usually always get sketches from, Gavin Smith and Sean Fournier being 2 of them. I don't think I'll be able to swing it this year unless there's absolutely nothing else I'm going to buy. And if I do, I think it's going to be I don't know why I'm on a real Spawn kick right now. So I think any sketch that I get is going to be Spawn related. But we'll see. It should be a fun time to walk around the booths. And yeah, I'm super excited, even though it's just going to be fun. It's going to be fun. Got a couple of friends meeting us down there. A couple of them never been to conventions before, so it's going to be a lot of fun to see their reactions. And my brother's going to come down for a little bit. It's just going to be an amazing day, amazing weekend. So yeah, so I am going to shoot a ton of footage while I'm there. The next time you guys see me, I will be at the Cincinnati Comic Expo.
Thought we'd pregame the Comic-Con at Mad Tree Brewing.
So finally made it into the expo. Security was a bit of an issue today. Unfortunately, we had to wait a little bit outside while they got everybody in, but we're finally in. And yeah, should be an awesome time. Right?
Absolutely, always.
No, but maybe later. It'll be posted on Facebook or YouTube later.
I'm
So yeah, we're gonna go look at some shops, get some sketches lined up, fun stuff. How was your first Comic-Con?
It was so cool. I liked it. I could have done another, like, swipe through the area to see everything.
She liked all the furries.
Jackie, how was your first Comic-Con?
It was fabulous. I've been to a Star Trek convention before, but this is my first Comic-Con. It's a little less, sketchy.
Morning, guys. It is Saturday morning. Walking over to the expo. Hopefully security isn't as bad today as it was yesterday. It took a little bit to actually get in, and I didn't have any bags or anything yesterday, but I do today because I have a crap ton to get signed from Scott Snyder and Greg Capullo, and that is today, which is, oh, I'm beyond excited to be able to meet those two and get a bunch of books signed and panel. And yeah, I think today we're gonna spend most of our time, the wife and I, in panels. Not gonna do a whole lot on the show floor. Looked yesterday, I didn't really have hardly anything I was looking for. Found the yellow suit Daredevil, was not able to find the red suit. Asked a couple of the vendors, they said they were all sold out. They didn't actually bring any of them to the convention themselves. So yeah, didn't really find a whole lot. Did get a commission set up with Jay Lee to do a Batman head sketch for me. I gotta give him a blank cover this morning, and so he'll be able to do that for me today. Really excited about that. Other than that, Scott Snyder has some things at his booth I may pick up. But yeah, so going up to the security line and day 2 at the convention. So this place is absolutely ridiculously packed. It's can't even really walk through the aisles. So just taking a look at the view from our hotel room this morning. Like I said, just an absolutely beautiful day. But as I was noticing here on the PNC building, that little door right there. I don't really want to have the job that has to go out that door. Day 3, Cincinnati Comic Expo. We're walking to the convention center. Yep. Last day. Pick up some sketches. Should be fun. Finally back from the Cincinnati Comic Expo. Really fun weekend. Overall, it was a very enjoyable experience. But just kind of wanted to do a little kind of recap video, tell you my kind of thoughts and feelings about the overall weekend, and show you the hauls that I picked up. Didn't do a whole lot as far as like figure shopping or anything like that. I looked through all the vendors. Fortunately, like I said earlier, they didn't have the Mezco red suit Daredevil, which was what I was really looking for. Unfortunately, they had the previews exclusive yellow, like first appearance suit, but that one just doesn't really appeal to me, and I don't know why. Like, I love that suit. Something about the way Mezco's look, I don't know, it just doesn't do anything for me. So I didn't pick that up. Most of the vendors were pretty overpriced. One guy, it was kind of insane. He was wanting $15 for just normal pops and any chase or exclusive figures. I think I was actually looking for the Superior Spider-Man, and he wanted, I think, $40 for it. And I was like, I'm not even gonna bother trying to haggle with him, because another booth had it for $20, and by the time I was like, all right, I'm gonna pull the trigger on it, unfortunately it was already gone. So I missed out on that, but other than that, not a whole lot there as far as figures, so I went ahead and spent my money on some sketches. I think I said in my earlier thing, I got Jay Lee to do a head sketch, which I'll show you guys here in a second, of Batman, and then I was also able to get Gavin Smith, the guy I've gotten a ton of artwork done, to do a Spawn for me, and that thing is absolutely, it's a masterpiece. It's unbelievable. I can't wait to show it to you guys. So I'll show you those. But overall, the con experience was pretty good. Security, I know there were some issues with that whole fiasco that happened out in Phoenix, but the security here was just, it was bad. If you're not familiar with the Cincinnati Duke Energy Center, they had the entrance in the farthest side. Like pretty much the furthest door they could from all the hotels, and they had 3 security metal detectors, and it was the slowest process ever, and it was awful. People were waiting. My wife, she didn't want to come super early on Saturday, so she actually came a little bit later in the morning on Saturday, and it took her about 40 minutes to get in through security. And I was hearing other reports on Facebook and things like that where it's taking people an hour, and that just sucks all the fun out of it, and it just kind of puts a damper on the whole weekend, if I'm being honest. And I mean, I get why they do it. You want to keep everybody safe. Like in today's day and age, you don't want anybody to get hurt, especially at something just so much fun as a convention. So I understood why they did it, but it just seemed implemented in a very poor way that just made it for a very unenjoyable experience in a lot of ways. But that was really my only gripe, other than they made you, like, so we went to a panel, you couldn't actually go, even though you were already through security, you were safe to come in, no other door was open in the convention hall. You still, like, whenever you went to a panel, had to go up to the panel rooms, and then when you came back down, you couldn't go right back into the vendor hall. You actually had to go all the way back out to the ticket booth. You didn't have to go through security, but you had to go all the way past that and then go through the main entrance. I thought that was a little bit frustrating because they had little checkpoints set up where vendors and artists and guests could go through, but not the actual con goers. And that was a bit frustrating. But hopefully Cincinnati will have a more in-depth, a lot better plan next year and be able to implement it a lot better. But overall, it was, like I said, it was a fun weekend, a lot of cool panels. That's where my wife spent most of the day Saturday. I did a little bit on the show floor, but it was insanely packed. And then Sunday, did a little bit of both, going to a couple panels, but spent some time on the floor as well and did our final little bit of shopping. But as far as that goes, I'll show you guys what I got. As far as figures, the only two pops I did pick up were the Dark Knight Returns Unmasked Batman and the Dark Knight Returns Blue Suit Batman. Now, these are two pops I've been looking at for a while, just never pulled the trigger on, but one of our local comic shops down in Kentucky, Comics to Games, is running a really good deal. 3 pops for $25, and there's a Harry Potter one my wife really wanted, so I went ahead and picked up these two to add to my Batman pop collection. So super excited to get those. And here's my Jay Lee sketch. Now I just had him do something real small because his prices, now he's worth every penny of it, but his prices were a little bit more than what I really wanted to invest in this Comic-Con. But I definitely wanted to get something from him since I just love how kind of dark and sinister his art is. So he was doing these like real quick head sketches, so I set this up and I put it on an all-star Batman blank cover that I had, and I thought this just turned out phenomenally. And this is the piece I'm absolutely just thrilled with. So Gavin did this for me. It's a 9x12. He said he used just his normal ink and whiteout, so like all the flame effects down there is all whiteout. I mean, he's just an absolutely brilliant artist, to be honest. This is, I think, my 3rd or 4th piece I've gotten from him, and each one is just better and better, and he's just outstanding. If you see him at a convention, make sure you guys support him. He's not going to be a kind of hidden gem for much longer. He's going to absolutely blow up with work like this, and I can't tell you how much I love this Spawn piece. And the last thing I bought was this SC Cincinnati hat. I know, I go to a Comic-Con and what do? I buy a sports hat. And like I was saying at the beginning of the video, my wonderful wife was amazing and surprised me with the Greg Capullo and Scott Snyder experience, where I actually got to do a private Q&A with them, as well as I got a print, a special badge that had Greg's artwork on it, and a bunch of stuff signed, and that was an unbelievable experience. They are two of my, honestly, comic heroes. Like I said earlier, Greg Capullo is the reason I'm into comics, and Scott Snyder is currently one of my favorite writers. I love everything that he does, and honestly, meeting them, just, they say don't meet your heroes, but these guys were so incredibly humble. Just, I mean, like, they were so much fun. Like, you could tell that they really wanted to be there. They're very appreciative of everyone that took the time to come meet them. I mean, just getting in line, getting things signed, I probably got to talk to them for 2 to 3 minutes, and they seemed very interested in what I had to say. And you know, Stan Lee, when I met him last year, he didn't even look up from his table. He just signed his thing. Both of these guys were extremely humble, extremely thankful for everybody in that line, and it was just absolutely amazing getting to meet them. And I wouldn't trade that for the world. That was definitely the best part of the weekend. But I was actually able to get this amazing print from them that they both signed. See here, there's Capullo's signature and Snyder's. That was really cool. And then the badge actually had the same artwork on it. So that was really, really cool. I normally don't frame prints, but this is definitely one I'm going to go ahead and frame since it's the closest I'm ever going to come to owning Greg Capullo original artwork. And then these were all the books I was able to get signed by either both of them or one of them. And huge thanks out to my buddy Craig, who went with me to the event. He had the experience pass as well, and he actually only had 3 books to be signed by Greg Capullo, so he was amazing and offered I could give him 2 of the ones I had as my extras, and he got them signed for me as well. The only thing that kind of sucks, so yeah, I got all these signed. The only thing that kind of sucks, if you take a look at Batman number 40 here, when Greg handed it back to me, he accidentally put his thumb right on his signature. So that kind of sucked that it's a little bit smudged there, but that's all right. I know it's signed by him, and Scott's turned out great, and that's, yeah, just an unbelievable experience. So yeah, so the Greg and Scott experience definitely made the entire weekend, to be honest. And it could have been, we waited 2 hours in line security, and that would have made all the difference in the world, getting to meet those two and just seeing how amazingly cool that they really are. I did see they did announce the dates today, and it's a week earlier than last year. Yes, I don't know exactly how true this is, but apparently my comic book shop, the guys that work there, told me that they know that they've already secured Frank Miller as the headliner for next year, which is absolutely unreal if that's the truth. That will be I'll definitely be buying some sort of package to meet him and have experience type thing with him. That would be unbelievable. Like, don't get me wrong, I love The Dark Knight. It's a fantastic Batman story, but Frank Miller's Daredevil, that is by far my favorite comic run ever. I think that his Daredevil is second to none when it comes to comics. And yeah, what he did with Daredevil is unreal, and is the reason why I'm such a big Daredevil fan. So yeah, so that could be amazing next year. But overall, awesome con this year. Not a whole lot going on as far as the figures and things like that, but we'll keep looking at stores around here. And yeah, so that's going to do it for me. Hope you guys enjoyed this little look into the Cincinnati Comic Expo for 2017. If you guys did like this video, make sure you guys go ahead and hit that like button. Let me know in the comments if you guys went to the expo, what your guys' thoughts on everything were. Love to know what your guys' hauls, what some of the guests that you guys really liked. Anything in the comments, let me know. And make sure you guys go ahead and subscribe, that you guys don't miss out on any future little con videos like this. Doing a lot more of the toy hunts now, as well as all my traditional figure reviews. And for those of you that really like my pool list, I have not forgotten about that video series. I've been a little bit behind on my comic reading, but hopefully after I go to the comic store Wednesday, I'm going to do one video, get everything caught back up. I have my list, my read list right here. I just need to get caught up on it, but I'm going to get back to those on current, and then I have quite a few spotlight books I can't wait to share with you guys, so I'm going to get those back on track, so don't worry. And so yeah, so that's going to do it for me this evening. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll catch you guys later. See ya.